Galnet News, your galaxy in focus, 14th of January 3301. In today's news, a trade blockade in the LT-4788 system. The Crimson State Group are making big changes in the LU system. The slave revolt in the Ongkuma system has been crushed. Suspicions are raised over the untimely death of Federal Vice President Nigel Smeaton. And an update on the independence movements in the Sanna and Dulos systems. Our top story today from the LT-4788 system. An attack on a freighter as part of a blockade of the Rubin Vision station appears to have kick-started a civil war of sorts amongst Pilot Federation members. Over to Zach Hunniset for more.
An incident took place outside Rubin Vision in the LT-4788 system yesterday, where a Type 7 transport on a routine trading run was attacked and destroyed by a group of privateers. The cargo, valued at approximately 2 million credits, was also destroyed, indicating that this attack was not a mere act of piracy. Indeed, it appears to be something much larger. One of the pilots by the name of Commander Experiment later identified himself as one of the attackers. He explained that the trade route from Rubin Vision was found to be particularly lucrative, and he and many other pilots had decided to enact the blockade in order to preserve its value and thus reap the profits for themselves. However, it was also revealed that members of the Test Fleet, the current largest syndicate within the Pilots Federation, had sent in warships to remove the blockade. This action appears to be in retaliation to the assault of one of their own pilots. In response to this, Commander Experiment indicated that the group would soon be leaving the sector as the trade route was no longer valuable to them. This is the first reported conflict between organized Pilots Federation syndicates, and it calls into question the safety of freighter pilots across the galaxy. And indeed, private pilots flying as freighter escorts seems to be needed more than ever. Reporting from Rubin Vision, Zach Hunniset, Galnet News.
Since Zach's report, a member of the faction enacting the original blockade has come forward to say that due to a very high profit trade route at Rubin Vision, the members of Victory over Internet Protocol, himself included, began the blockade, but were subsequently attacked and overrun by members of the Test faction, who proved much more numerous, and the blockade changed ownership at that point. Whatever the case, it brings bad news for traders looking to maximise their profits with runs to and from Rubin Vision, and until activities calm down in the LT-4788 system, traders are cautioned to avoid the system or bring their own means of self-defence. We've received reports from the LU system of the federal-backed LU for Equality faction losing ground in the political struggle with the rising Crimson State Group. According to opinion polls, support for Crimson State Group independence movement has risen to over 66%. The staggering increase in influence has seen them victorious in a civil war against the LU Defence Force, and thereby gaining control of the Bandin Gateway Starport. Observers indicate that the group's success is due to a huge level of support from independent pilots. Financial forecasters are also astounded at the volume of trading by the Crimson State Group and are now predicting an economic boom for them. This can only come as more bad news for the beleaguered system owners. The question on everyone's lips is how will the Federation respond to this, especially considering rumours of other federal systems seeking independence. More on the slave revolt in Ongkuma now. Following a surprise move from the Ongkuma Progressive Party withdrawing their support for the slave rebellion, the last of the rebels have been killed or captured. In a statement, Senator Torval declared, "Once again, the machinations of federal agitators have been defeated. They will never learn. They deceived some of our loyal citizens into supporting their actions, but now they have publicly admitted their fault. In this instance, we will be magnanimous." She also praised the actions of many independent pilots who once again supported her campaign. Commentators have expressed their support for the senator's merciful action. The Ongkuma Progressive Party has long been a part of the system's political landscape, and their survival, even in a reduced form, continues the tradition of this system. Added to the crushing of the Sorbago slave rebellion some weeks ago, Senator Torval has set out a strong stance against civil disobedience amongst the ranks of the imperial slaves, and those in support of her stance on regulated slavery will no doubt be looking to her to deal just as swiftly with potential future uprisings, while those slaves elsewhere in the Empire will surely measure any thoughts of rebellion against the outcomes of the Sorbago and Ongkuma uprisings. More on the untimely death of the federal vice president now. Fresh revelations have added uncertainty to reports Vice President Smeaton's death was due to a suspected heart attack. Retrieved data from the security systems at his apartment indicate that they were not functioning at the time. It's also been revealed that he completed a clean, full medical scan in his private scanner only an hour before his death. His partner, Aldous Simons, who was not there at the time, believes Smeaton was murdered. He explained that there were some other irregularities, such as the apartment appearing to have just been cleaned. The mystery deepened with the revelation that 6 minutes of the satellite surveillance data for the area appeared to have been distorted by electromagnetic interference. This does happen from time to time, but rarely in calm weather conditions such as those on the night of the Vice President's death. Time for an update now on the independence movements from Sanna and Dulos. In contrasting news reports from the Sanna and Dulos systems, reporters revealed the latest on the independence movements. Federal supporting factions in the Sanna system are comfortably holding their ground, and local commentators believe that their efforts to leave the Federation will soon collapse. In Dulos, the independence movement has gained more traction thanks to the efforts of the Dulos Defense Party and their supporters. It is reported that independent pilots from around the region are providing support for both sides in the struggle. Sanna and Dulos both made the headlines in the past few weeks as their protests against federal tax rises amounted to ambitions of independence. Senator Denton Petraeus of the Empire stepped forward to offer the systems a way out of the Federation, but as of yet, nothing is decided, and the independence struggle continues in both Sanna and Dulos. And that's the Galnet news for today. Tune in next time to keep your galaxy in focus.